Ballroom here on the second floor of the Hilton in Uptown Charlotte. We have come to our final segment of the afternoon. The Clemson Tigers are with us. Head Coach Dabo Swinney will offer his opening comments. Then we will get our Q&A going for our student athletes as well as our head coach. We'll get everybody into position, and Coach, the podium is yours.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I know y'all are like so excited. This is it, right? We're the last here, so we'll try to get y'all out here as soon as we can. No, y'all don't want to hear a lot from me. Y'all want to hear from these guys, and I'm sure ask some amazing questions. The biggest thing I would say is, man, just grateful to be here. Just grateful for another opportunity to do something that I love to do at a place I love to do it with a bunch of people that I love to do it with. And it's been a great time up here today. It's always fun to talk about Clemson football, talk about football in general. And we got three great young men with us, truly great young men that hopefully y'all have had a chance to interact with today and will help. Our defensive end, Sammy Brown, our linebacker, and OPH, Olsen Pat Henry, our tight end. These are three great representatives and ambassadors for our program, great leaders in our program, and also great players. So glad they're here for you. And then again, for me, it's my 24th year at Clemson, and my 18th as the head coach, and my 37th year in college football. So it's been a blast, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to, have a new season and get a chance to get back to camp. It's what I love to do. I love camp because we got no clock, and we just get to hang out all day and do football life together, and just, there's just nothing better. Early, late, we're all there together and kind of, building our team for this year, this stage of our team. These guys have been working since January. This is just kind of the next step in our 2026 journey, and look forward to getting on the field. Now we get back to playing some games and see if we can, go have a great season. That's our objective, and that's our focus, and that's what we're going to work toward.
Coach, thank you. We'll get to as many questions as we can. We will have our first question up front, right side, first row.
Coach Dan Tortora, WakeUpCallDT.com. Good to see you.
You too.
Coaching with faith, integrity, and a focus on family is something that's always been important to you. The climate of college football has changed drastically, yet you've spoken about staying true to your morals and your values. To just speak to the way that you coach and why you focus on what you focus on in a world that's kind of losing it.
Boy, what a question right out of the gate. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Man, I could like go on for that one. The bottom line is, I think that my identity is not in what I do. I know a lot of people, that's what they see me as, the Clemson coach, or they see me as whatever. But that's really not my identity, man. My identity is in Christ. The foundation of my life is built on faith. I was talking about this to somebody the other day. I don't even know who I was talking to, but I was just saying, like, in this world, and I love it all. It's just, it's what we signed up for. But you get a lot of love and you get a lot of hate in this this world, especially this journey that we are on. You get a lot of love, you get a lot of hate, and I've had a bunch of both, enough for a lifetime. But all of that stuff is circumstantial. It's based on, if you do this, then that. If this, then that. Man, if we got that one more yard and one, they love you. But you came up 1 yard short, they hate you. And that's all circumstantial. But that's, again, why I built my life on a foundation of faith, because, God's promises, God's peace and grace, and that never changes. That's not circumstantial. So, that's how I live my life. That's how I have perspective in whatever else, and how I have the ability to manage. Things still stink. Circumstances are bad, but it gives me the right perspective to believe and have hope it's going to get better. So thankful for that.
Coach, right side, third row.
Hi, I'm Isabella with Clemson Association for Women in Sports Media. How are you, Coach?
I'm great.
So you keep referring to this past season as similar to 2010. That was 16 years ago. For younger viewers like myself, because I was 3 at the time, can you explain what it means to get players like Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins to come in and change the tide?
Yeah, well, DeAndre Hopkins was on that 6-win team in 2010. Sammy came in 11. Those are, I mean, we all draw on our experiences and things that we go through in life. And so, I mean, for me, not for these guys because they don't know it. I mean, Olsen's never had a season like that. Sammy's been there 2 years. He won a championship, went to the playoffs, and then we stunk, So he's got 2 seasons to draw experience upon. Will, heck, he won more games last year than he won his whole time at Purdue, I think. So his perspective was very different last year. I mean, so it's all about kind of where you are. But in 2010, we lost 5 games by 6 points or less. 1 in overtime at Auburn to the national champion Auburn. 1 on a 100-yard field goal, by Dustin Hopkins in Tallahassee. Not that I'm still bitter about that. So it was brutal. And we go 6-7, and we had a bunch of guys drafted. We had a good football team. But that team stayed together, and I could feel it. And hey, we came back the next year. We won the ACC, won 10 games. And if you go back and look at the predictions probably going into 2011, I will be willing to bet we weren't picked to win the ACC. In fact, most predictions were probably that'd be my last year coaching at Clemson in 11. And, kind of been on a 1-year contract ever since. So I'm still there. Fast forward, we've had 15 winning seasons, 13 10-plus win seasons, 14 9-plus win seasons. We've won 11 championships in the last 15 years. And then you have a season like last year, and that's kind of what everybody wants to focus on. And I get that. We earned that. But there were a lot of similarities. There really were. We lost 3 games by 11 points. We lost 2 games on the last play of the game. We're 151-7 all the way back to 2010 when we lead in the fourth quarter. 2 of those 7 were last year. So we didn't finish in the fourth quarter. We lead the nation. We're number 1, 138 schools. We're number 1 all the way back 15 years in one-score games. We're 1, and then it's either Georgia or Ohio State's 2 or 3. So we've won close games. I've had some 12-0 teams that were 4 plays from being 8-4. All right, and so we didn't win the close games. We didn't finish in the fourth quarter. We didn't run the ball effectively. We played the worst pass defense in my coaching career. So that's my fault. But it's football stuff. It's football stuff. And so that's our focus. We got to fix the football stuff. You get what you earn. It's not what people predict. If it was about what people said, what they predicted, we win the league last year, we go to the national championship. All right? That's what I tell these guys. And this year, ain't none of y'all going to pick us. Ain't none of y'all going to say anything good about us. I've been dead. I'm gone. I think I'm still here. All right? But it's not about that either. It never has been. If it was about what people predicted, I'd have been gone a long time ago. All right? It's about what you do. That's what it's about. And, we didn't do the football stuff well enough last year. And, we got everything we need. We don't have to make any excuses. And so we're going to get what we earn this year. And so that's what we're focused on, doing what it takes to earn the results that we want. And so these guys have been, working toward that. But, it's not about what we say. And, haters hate, right? As I said, there's a bunch of hate. I don't know who wrote that song. But, the one thing about haters, when you win, it don't matter what they say. And when you lose, it don't matter what you say. So don't focus on that. Just focus on let's go get better. And the good news is, hey man, we've got a lot to stand on. We've won this league 3 times this decade. And we talk about all that we haven't done. And even with 7 wins last year, we're still one of the top 10 winningest programs in college football this decade. We're 7th in wins. And I think we're second in championships this decade. Georgia's first, we're second. We're number one in draft picks. We're number one in graduation. We're number one in retention. Now, these aren't like make-believe things, all right? So, but you know what else is true? We stunk last year. That's true, too. We've lost some games that, man, we should have won. But how about we give the opponent some credit? How about we give some other coaches some credit? Football is not easy. It's hard. We've had 15 winning seasons in a row, and I think there's only 4 teams out of 138 that can say that. 15. It's not easy to win. So we're not perfect, and y'all know I'm far from perfect. But we're consistent, and it's a new year. We're excited about it, and hey, we're put our head down, see if we can go find a way to win some games.
Same location, third row, right side, right next to her.
Hey, Coach. Gatsby Good from Clemson Women in Sports Media. We've seen a few glimpses of Christopher Vizina last season. What has been your message to him as kind of the new face of this offense as he takes that first snap down in an electric Baton Rouge Tiger Stadium?
Okay. All right. So keep me focused on the CV question, but this is the Clemson and Women and Clemson Sports Media Day that we have going on here. This is like a thing. Okay, say it. What is it again?
Clemson Association of Women in Sports Media.
Awesome. Okay, I didn't even know we had that. That's great. Man, CV's been great. He really has. I mean, listen, I know y'all write about it. I know y'all talk about it. You know, we have fans that talk about it. At the end of the day, you got to make decisions. When you can't make decisions that please everybody, and if you want to fail drastically, try to do that. And we made a decision that, you know, we weren't going to go and get some shiny, you know, object at quarterback. Well, we understand that, and if it doesn't work out, we're going to be just raked over the coals for that. But you know, you got to make decisions that you believe in, and you know, we always do what we think at Clemson is best for our team, for the long-term health of our team and our organization, et cetera. And there's a reason why we had confidence in the decision that we made, and that's because we're there every day. And CV has earned the opportunity to go be the starting quarterback at Clemson based on everything we've observed. Now, if we didn't think he was good enough and he hadn't demonstrated the things that he controlled at that point in his career, well, we might have made another decision. The other thing is we knew who was coming in. And we believed in him and Brock. And you don't ever know till you get there. But we knew that CV was a guy that incredibly loyal to our place. This guy could have left 10 times. And somebody had paid him a ton of money. And, you know, he could have gone and done that. But this kid has stayed loyal to Clemson. And he's done everything he's been asked to do. And when he's had an opportunity to play, he's played well. Now, does that anoint him to be the guy? No, he's got to go do it. It gives him the pole position, and that's what he had in the spring ball. And Tate came in, and there were 4 guys competing. Like, who's going to be 2? We knew who 1 was, but now we can't create competition with 5 guys. We need to create competition. So Tate separated himself and became the 2. The team needed clarity. We needed clarity going into the summer. And it became very obvious that, hey, these were the 2 guys that gave us the best chance. And so now, coming out of spring, now Tate, he can put his eyes on CV, all right, and he can go beat him out. Or CV can feel the heat from somebody else. And so either way, we're going to get better because competition makes us better. And, you know, that's just football. That's the way it is. We don't have a ton of experience at the position. That's well documented. But we believe in the talent that we have. And the other thing that we believe in is we got a bunch of playmakers at running back, at tight end, at wide receiver, that they're ready to make plays for whoever's under center. And I think we believe that we have, you know, 4 guys in that room. We got a lot of talent in that quarterback room that we feel good about. But it right now going into camp, it's CV and it's Tate, and it's CV's job to lose, and it's Tate's opportunity to go win it. And What happens in camp? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Does it go into game season? I have no idea. So we just got to see how it all plays out. But I'll say this. I believe in the guys we have.
Coach, thank you. You and Sammy can switch spots, and we'll spend time with Mr. Brown. Folks, our 3 student athletes will need to work with our questions before 3:30, so we'll take a hand in the air, and we will start with who for Sammy, who wants it in the room. We're going to go left side in the very back. Young lady, if you would, please, because it's a little bit darker in the back of the room, would you please stand up? Thank you.
Sammy, earlier this week, Coach Ben had talked about how for this position it's going to take a lot of communication. And he said that, you called him and kind of told him how, you all were kind of dealing with how to come about with that. Can you explain, the importance for you to be able to step up and be a leader on this defense verbally?
Yeah, I would say this goes back to my freshman year, just looking at the linebacker room. We had Barrett Carter and Wade Woodaz in there, so I feel like they really, set the tone and set the example for me going, coming into this leadership role. So I picked up a lot from both of them on, understanding not only what a leader is, but how to be a leader and how to, lead not only a linebacker room, but a defense and a team. So I give a lot of praise to them. And, like you said, I've talked to Ben multiple times about becoming a leader, and I think Ben is a very good resource to have because he's climbed that mountain before, and he's gotten to the top of the mountain. So he's a really good resource to have and a really good resource to lean on when it comes to not only being a leader, but playing the linebacker position.
Sammy, right side in the back, almost the same spot.
Be Fox Sports Radio Charlotte. Coach has talked about in the past about you guys being all in, and what's the mindset of you taking that that motto going into this season after what happened last season and the magnitude of that game one with he said CV stepping out there at Baton Rouge and the whole real battle, real Death Valley and Lane Kiffin and him and Coach never faced each other before as head coaches, and the magnitude of them. Cajuns gonna be waiting on you guys. One of the hardest places to play at night down there, Baton Rouge at 7:30, week one. What you think about that, and how you gonna get set for a game of that type magnitude to kick off the 2026 season?
Yeah, so first off, going from last year to this year, I think the biggest thing is that you want to put that in the past. I don't think you want to dwell on that, but at the same time, you don't want to completely forget it because there are many aspects of not only the game of football, but the game of life that you can learn from a season like that last year. So, how to overcome adversity, how to be a man and face adversity and, be able to overcome it. So there are a lot of lessons that you can learn from last year, but at the end of the day, we really are focusing this offseason on resetting and, resetting our goals, resetting our standards and, learning from last year. But, this is a new season. This is a new team. And then for the first game, it is a big game and, there's a lot of headlines around it. But at the end of the day, that football game is going to be the exact same football game that you're going to play week 7. So for me, there's not going to be any different kind of preparation or anything like that that'll go into the game. I'm still going to come in on Monday and, really watch tape for 2 or 3 hours. And, throughout the week, my preparation will be exactly the same.
Sammy, thank you. You and Will can switch spots, and we'll spend a couple of minutes with Will. And, Will, we know your first question will come right side, second row.
Thomas Christopher of the League Winners. Coach often talks about players who love the grind. So how does that philosophy show up in your daily routine, especially coming off a big individual season?
Yeah, I think personally I'm someone that's really routine-based. I like to stay consistent in my routine and my daily habits. I like to think that amplifies in my leadership and people can take that from me. But yeah, that's just who I am.
Will, first row right side, all the way at the wall here.
Hey, Will, Gary from Clemson Sports News. Tell us the difference between ACC and Big Ten football since you've been there, and also since you've been at Clemson, what's been the greatest thing outside of football you've noticed about the culture and the atmosphere that's been cultivated there?
Yeah, I think as far as Big Ten to ACC, I think it's not all that different. At the end of the day, it's just football. It's Power 4 football. Everybody's big, everybody's strong, everybody's fast. It's fair to say that there's different body types that look different at different positions, and maybe schematically things look different league to league, but pretty similar. I think to answer your question, coming from up north in Indiana, down south, I think the southern charm is real. It's nice to not have snow in October, but yeah, the community down south is different. People love college football. It's definitely college football country.
Will, from the podium, there are a lot of great images of you laying out for a tackle. Your commitment to the game can be seen through the photos and through the clips. Where does this commitment come from?
Yeah, I think just the love of the game. Ever since I was a kid, all I want to do is go out and play football and play my heart out. So I think that's just been instilled in me from my dad and from my coaches growing up. But everything I do, I'm going to give my all in it, and so just playing my heart out.
Thank you, Will. You can switch spots with OPH as we have come to know. So Olsen, Pat Henry will get the last few questions. Folks, if you would identify yourselves and the agency you're with, we will start second row right here on the right-hand side.
Hi, TJ Wilkerson from PBJ Productions. Chad Morris recently made his return to Clemson. What has it been like learning under him this offseason?
It's been very fun just to, get to know the type of person he is. He's very passionate, energetic, and he just wants us to meet the standard that he expects out of us, and just trying to match that intensity every day has been great.
The next question, same right side, this time fourth row.
Katrina Sackins, Sports and Culture Media. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Last season, when you guys kind of hit a couple of bumps, a lot of people were saying, well, what's with Clemson? And I remember during every single press conference, Coach Sweeney was saying, people tend to forget about the draft picks and the championships at a national level and a conference level. The confidence that you have in this program to take you through those moments, what does that look like for you?
I think it's just being instilled who I am as a person, just continuing to trust in Coach Sweeney and my teammates. I think the biggest thing was just, keeping that locker room together and just figuring out, all right, this is not only happening to us as individuals, but as a team. So just continuing to just believe in each other, just believe in the coaches because they believe in us so we could do what we got to do.
Right side, second row.
Thomas Christopher of the League Winners. You're a two-time academic and honor roll student. Can you just talk about the importance of that academics, and how do you balance the lifestyle of playing football with your academics?
Yeah, it's always been important to me. My mom's a nurse, so just her instilling academic part in me has been always important because just, one day the football's going to go flat. And I think in a world of college football we live in now, NIL's been involved in just not being able to have a degree while getting money just doesn't sit right. And I just think we live in a world where guys are just chasing checks and not having the structure of getting an education. And I think that's just been always important to me, and just having degrees has always been one of my goals.
Olsen, left side, about the fifth row.
Owen Hillman at the League Winners. You've mentioned before that you want to model your NFL game, your game after NFL tight ends Dwayne Allen and Jordan Leggett. What about their games stand out to you the most?
Just the totality of how they do everything, just as a whole. Watching Dwayne since he was in Chad Morris' offense, just him being able to run block and catch the football, just being diverse in everything he does, and just Jordan Leggett, just how diverse he is, just catching the ball and just being able to make great plays in open space.
Olsen, left side, young lady that just stood up.
Dejana Wilson with WLOS. From your standpoint, what have you seen out of the two quarterbacks, Tate and CV?
Great competition. I think, every day since I'm out there with them, just, they continue to push each other. And, like Sweeney said, CV was one of the job, but, Tate comes in every day and puts the same amount of work in. But, competition is not only meant for them, but the entire building. I'm not entitled to go out there and start. They're not entitled to go out there and start. We have to go in and work in every day. So the same rules apply to everybody else.
Olsen, left side, third row, almost at the wall.
What culture and personality do you see in this revamped offense, and what kind of energy are these guys poised to bring that will differ from last season, especially heading into game one?
I see a great culture. I see an OC that believes in us and who we are, and sees what we're capable of doing. And just having an OC to believe, and not only just, the offensive lineman, the quarterback, the receivers, and the tight ends is important. Because I think, having a coach that believes in you says a lot, not only as a person, but as a coach. And as a player, that means a lot because it gives you belief and confidence to, go out there and be able to execute what he's asking you to do.
Olsen, your last question comes from the podium. You helped ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange back in December. As a communications major, what were your takeaways from that experience?
It was good. It was just very interesting just to see the different things that go wrong around the world. Because, I'm in a sports bubble, a school bubble, and I don't really, know what's going on. And just to see how the importance of, like, someone you don't think their job is as important, just to see how everybody was communicating and just to be able to, be on the same page and just see how big their job was cool to see.
OPH, thank you. Clemson, good luck. We'll see you out on the road.
Appreciate y'all.
Folks, that puts a lid on it for today. We will be back in here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. SMU will get us started, and we will have our last 6 schools for kickoff. If the staff could be of any help to you, please let us know, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.